Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. All right, so today I'm going to go over something real quick, something I've seen installed incorrectly many times. This is on an EC135 helicopter, and it's called the NVG, the night vision goggle or night vision system installation. It's the STC that we have installed by the company called ASU, Aviation Specialties Incorporated. I think that's what their name is. But anyway, specifically today, we're going over the warning unit and the NVG filter assembly, or I've also heard it called a bezel, on top of the warning unit. And not all helicopters have that. You have to look at the drawing. And that's what we're going over next. So if you have an ASU install on your aircraft, you're going to have this book, which is from the STC'd install. And the most important thing you're going to need to look at here is Appendix C. So if you ever have anything changed in your cockpit, like you get different radios or whatever, then you're going to need, well, you won't, but your company will. You'll get with ASU. They'll send you a new drawing. It's going to have to match what your cockpit has. And this shows everything in the cockpit, and if it has required NVG filters or not, the part numbers of the filters, and also the part numbers of the like radios and the units and the GPSs and all that stuff. All right, so up top is the warning unit. It's called out right there. It has these three numbers and letters that call out for different things. And we're going to go over that a couple times just to make sure that you guys understand what it means, because it's not easy to read. And if you look at this Appendix C, there's tons of writing on here. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, on the left side are the notes, and they're called out by triangled numbers. So our warning unit has triangle number 50, but on the left side it has all the notes, and there's some that don't have triangles. That means that that note is for the entire installation or the entire system. The next thing is circled numbers, and that's on the table on the right, and that's for the part number of the filters that are required. The next thing is a letter with a square around it, or a boxed letter, and that goes to the table down on the bottom right, and that is the part number of the unit. So that this one is specifically pointing at the part number for the warning unit. We're going to go over this again just so that it makes sense. Okay, specifically we're looking at the warning unit again, and we're going to go over this one at a time. We're going to go over the notes, the part number of the unit, and the part number of the filter. Also, looking at our warning unit, there's the fire lights, or the fire, emergency cutoff switches. It has a circle 5 and a boxed D, and that just shows you what the part number of, well, it tells you what it is. It's a fire annunciator, but it gives you the part number for the filter. So make sure if your drawing has this, you have the correct filter on your fire light. I think some of them don't have that, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, first thing we're going to look at is the part number of the unit, which is the boxed letter. This is C, boxed letter C. It's down on the bottom right. You go to that table to figure out what part number. This is kind of complicated, but we're not going to get into the weeds on this, okay? They call it a caution warning panel. Airbus calls it a warning unit. It gives you a part number. There's like 10 different part numbers. And ASU has a letter of no objection with a bunch of different of our serial number aircraft that have different warning units installed. Some of them have plastic covers over the fire lights or fire buttons, cutoff switches. And some of them have a different thing. And some of them are NVG. Some of them are adjusted for P2s and P2 pluses and high NR and Cat A. And so there's so many different parts. Most of the ones I've seen recently are all NVG compatible anyway. Even if it's NVG compatible, according to this drawing here, you still have to have the cover. Anyway, that's just the part number for the warning unit. Yours might be different. And if it's different, then you're going to need to have a letter saying that you have an engineering order change, saying you have a different part number. I know that's kind of wonky. It's kind of in the weeds. Sorry. All right, next we're going to go over the circled number. Circle number 4 for the warning unit. It's over there on the right side. and that is the part number of the NVG filter. And this one in specific is like a filter assembly or a bezel. That's simple, right? Not hard. Next is note 50. This is important, and this is what is installed wrong in our pictures here. So if you zoom into note 50, it says install bezel assembly. There's called bezel assembly. I knew it did somewhere. Anyway, install bezel assembly with filter windows not over the white legend labeled emergency off switch 1 or emergency off switch 2. Let me read that again so it makes sense, or translate it. It says install the bezel assembly with the filtered windows not over the white words. Okay, does that make sense? So up top here, this one's installed incorrectly. See where the filter window is? That's over where the white words are. Emergency off switch 1 and switch 2. That's white. It never lights up. But the open part that's not filtered, where it says active, you can't really see it normally. It says active, so when you push the button, that lights up, and that is supposed to have an NVG filter window over it. So this thing is installed upside down. All right, not too complicated, but if you're going to do the NVG inspection, you should look at this and make sure it's installed correctly. There's one other thing real quick. On this drawing, it is note 20, and it says equipment and or instrumentation identified with this note have been manufactured to meet NVIS compatibility by the OEM. So that means it is an Airbus NVG compatible part. But for this one, for this helicopter and this drawing, this Appendix C, this note is not pointing to the warning unit. Other helicopters have the similar note. It may not be note 20, it may be note 75 or something crazy. But if it says this and it's pointing to your warning unit or any other pieces of equipment in here, then you don't need a filter. All right. Okay, here's an ICA Appendix C out of a different helicopter, and it has a bunch of different, it's totally different. It's a totally different setup. But just looking at the warning unit up here, it points to note 29. And on this drawing, the note 29, it says equipment and or instrumentation identified with this note may or may not have an NVIS compatible mode. If the equipment and or instrument does not have the NVIS compatible mode, the filter listed or called out must be installed on the equipment. Okay, so for this helicopter, you don't need the bezel. And here's a picture of it right here, no bezel. All right, so it all depends on what is in the drawing on your ICA for your NVG installation from ASU. And I misspoke before, ASU stands for Aviation Specialties Unlimited. They're out of Idaho. All right, cool. Just wanted to help clarify that up. That's something I've seen installed incorrectly a couple times because I guess people, well, I don't know, just go to your Appendix C, read all the notes, make sure you understand what they're saying. I hope this helps. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next time. All right, later. Quick disclaimer. I'm not affiliated with any aircraft manufacturers. I make these videos for entertainment, not education. Always refer to the manufacturer's maintenance instructions and not this video or any other videos on this channel. If there is something said in this video that is contrary to the maintenance manual, defer to the maintenance manual. Maintenance manuals are being revised all the time. Check current revisions prior to completing any maintenance on your aircraft. That being said, thank you for watching, and let's roll.